sudden weight gain in anyone in 1 or 2 days. Like, think about this is especially true for those of us who are trying to lose weight, and there is you're monitoring your weight every day, and there is no, like, you see suddenly like 1 kilos 2 kilos weight gain in like a couple of days. So why does that happen? Now, first and foremost, this is not medical advice. I know I'm a doctor, but if you see sudden weight gain and you like become puffy and your hands and are swollen, your shoes become tight, your rings become tight, your pants become too tight overnight, you need to go to the doctor and check, like, if there is any cardiac problem, renal problem, liver problem, those sort of major organ problems. But those of us who are trying to lose weight and check our weight every day, and we know we don't have any organ problems, we still experience this sort of sudden weight gain, especially when you are used to eating in a calorie deficit way. You're maintaining your lifestyle in a calorie deficit way, and you suddenly see 1 or 2 kilos of weight gain overnight. So this happened to me recently. Like, if you are following me, you know I'm trying to lose weight, and I have already lost 5 kilos 200 grams, and I just have to lose 1.8 kilos. That's the only thing I have to do. So unfortunately, what happened is, over the weekend I got my period, and the weekend just is something where I overeat a little bit outside protocol, and I tend to gain weight. And then the period happened, and then the pain happened, so I landed up eating a little bit extra. So as an expert in weight loss coaching, I have seen like lots of people, including myself, fluctuate weight over lifetime. Over 7 years, I've been checking every day my weight, same time. So I know, I have records of it, right? So in my brain, I'm suspecting this might be water retention weight. Overnight, who gains fat? 1 to 2 kilos. Nobody gains overnight 1 to 2 kilos, right? So I know this is water retention weight, because I know I have consumed almost whatever I've eaten is 80 to 90% carbohydrates. I drank alcohol, which led to water retention and dehydration and water retention, and I overate. So whatever I used to normally eat, compared to that, a little bit more. So I know intellectually this is water retention, and it might come off the moment I resume back to my healthy eating. But then there is that nagging noise which all my clients have. Like, anyone who's trying to lose weight, they won't even suspect water retention weight. They're just gonna go to like, oh my god, this is fat gain. I've gained all the weight back. Whatever I lost, I gained it all back. This is fat gain. This is not no, this is not water retention. This is fat gain. Very clear in their brain. So this is a common problem most people who are trying to lose weight suffer with. What is the solution? Solution to this sort of problem is basically you go back on your regime, whatever you are following, your protocol. In my case, or anyone who has PCOS or pre-diabetes, you just have to like reduce your carbohydrates, reduce your refined carbohydrates. Like, we want to eat vegetables, so keep the vegetables, but reduce the refined carbohydrate, reduce the bread, reduce the rotis, reduce the cookies, reduce biscuits, and reduce the alcohol, or stop the alcohol, or stop the juices. If you are someone who exercises a lot, way more than your usual, you might want to reduce that exercise as well, because sometimes extra exercising can also lead to water retention. So this is what you have to do. But how do you do it? Like, intellectually, like, I gave you the solution, right? But is it implemented? Now, generally what happens is we need to check the mindset. Because if whatever I said, reduce the carbohydrates, if it's like easily implementable, you're 100% sure that today you would just reduce it, go ahead. That means you have clean mindset for today. But if your brain is like, oh yeah, this is crazy, I can't do this, I'll do it later on. And if you see yourself check out completely, if you're saying like, screw that, you know what, nothing is anyways working, so I'm gonna just eat whatever I want. Screw that. And you go into a full binge until Monday comes and your routine activity starts, and you get sort of like just sucked into the routine way of eating, and then it will stabilize. But you will, like, every part of your brain is still witnessing what is happening, because you have just rewired or like strengthened that pathway of like, you know, nothing is working, nothing ever works, fuck it, let's just eat whatever we want and binge eat. You have just rewired that sort of conditioning. We need to check that sort of thing, because what happens is, if you consume more of refined carbohydrates, you're gonna just keep getting more cravings, and you're gonna just keep retaining water, and you will, if it was not fat gain, you will gain fat. So it has to be interrupted. The moment you recognize that, you know, you are going, like, you have an option to interrupt it at any point. So how do you interrupt it? If you are recognizing that this is where my brain has gone, how do I go to like something which will help me interrupt? And I kid you not, today morning, Sunday mornings, generally I am on my usual protocol. Like, I just resume because my husband has gone to work, my kid is like busy doing things, I have patients or I have clients, 1 or 2 clients, not much, and I'm like back to like my routine. But what happened, instead of like, generally I meditate after I have my coffee, and then I sit in meditation for some like maybe 10-15 minutes, and then I get to work. But today I like swapped it, and I was like, I was too sleepy and too drowsy because of the period pain. So let's meditate first, and then we'll have coffee. And then that meditation, instead of sitting behind upright, I slouched. I was like, let's just sleep. So I slept for like 40 minutes. So 40 minutes is again like, if I'm gonna sleep should happen like 20-25 minutes, and I should be out of sleep. Because after that, you enter the deep sleep cycle. And if you wake up in deep sleep, that means you're gonna be groomy. This is a theory I have. This is not my theory also. This is like scientific knowledge. People, like, you can go and check about it. My brain will be like, I don't have your theories. This is not true. Like, no, but this is true. And I woke up and I was like, okay, it's time to have coffee. And obviously, my brain, instead of just having coffee, I'm like, no, but there's some pain here. And then I will have pain. And then I don't feel so well. And there's like so many things. And then I just like saw myself have biscuits. There's a box full of biscuits. I had biscuits, I had peanuts, I had my coffee. And I was like, what are you doing, Rashmi? Stop. Like, there is that very faint. It feels like she's like far behind somewhere. But I could hear that noise. It was like, what are you doing? Just stop. Like, you're gonna gain weight. Like, you're on a mission. You are on a plan. Stop. Like, there was that noise. But I still was like, no, I'm just gonna eat as much as I want. I put something on and I just ate it. Like, I don't know who took over me. And then the shame comes. Like, for me, this might not happen for you, right? Because you're not a weight loss coach, or you're not like someone who's trying to make a livelihood out of it. So your brain might just completely dismiss it, or it might come to attack you as well. I don't know. But my brain will be like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a big problem, you can't do this, and all of that. Like, she's just screaming at me. And then I was like, why did I have the biscuits? Like, while I'm doing the dishes, I'm thinking, why did I have the biscuits? Why? And that voice came, yeah, you would not give us anything anyway, and then you'll just keep on drinking tea and coffee, and then nuts, and then there's no food. If there was some proper food, I would have eaten the proper food, but then there was only biscuits in the house. There's no bread also in the house. And I was like, oh, I understood why I overate the biscuits, because there is this part was active who was feeling like, you know, I'm not gonna give her food. And it literally feels like a childlike part. And I was like, oh, I never want her to feel that way. I mean, she's part of me and she's like a childlike part in me. And I never wanted to feel that way that, I'm like starving her. So I first of all like kept the biscuits away. I empty that box was empty, so I'm gonna put some oats in it. But I'm gonna get some biscuits and I'm gonna figure out, okay, we need if she thinks that she's gonna starve and she's gonna get hungry, especially when she's on a period, like let's give her some food, man. And I was still thinking, what can I give her? Like my go-to is bread, but then I'm thinking like, okay, you could have had eggs, and I didn't want to have eggs because last time eggs made us drowsy, made me drowsy. So I'm still thinking like, what can I have? Like I'm thinking of like oats or an oatmeal maybe, or like we can introduce some sort of protein shake maybe, or something like that, because we are so close to the goal weight now and I want to maintain that weight and I don't want to keep losing. And if there is so much hunger which is coming up, especially around periods, we need to have a plan in place when you're in period and there is gonna be hunger. So this issue happened and I'm still contemplating on it. But then I realized, I don't think this would have happened if I had had my coffee first, then meditated. Because I didn't have my coffee, I meditated first and then was about to have coffee and I woke up in that deep sleep. Is that the case? I'm just thinking that could be the case, because the way I do it every day, it works for me. It's only when I swap this thing. Yes, I have pain and I have capacity to deal with pain, and it's not much. Like I did not want to take a painkiller because I have some tummy pain and the painkiller will also hurt the tummy. So I'm like, let's just sit with that pain. I think we'll be fine. So I was basically contemplating on like, I'm moving away from that thinking, which is like, nothing works. She's never gonna give us food. It's not gonna work. Like I had gone in some emotional drama, right? So we have to check the mindset always. And sometimes the mindset can be checked after it has happened. So in my case, I'm doing it afterwards. And sometimes I can't do it in the moment, provided I'm in a good space. Like emotionally, I'm feeling good. And generally, if I'm emotionally feeling good, I don't have these sort of cravings. I just don't. I'm like, I'm fine. So most of the times it's like when I'm not feeling good, that's when the cravings are just like, they just like amplify. So if you are in my place, like someone who has gained 1 or 2 kilos, like today morning, my weight was 53.2 and I was just shocked. Wednesday, I was 51.8, 53.2 because of the weekend, 2-3 meals. This has happened. So the way we interrupt further carb loading is the first understanding nothing has gone wrong. You're not in danger. Like when that part is like telling me like she's never gonna give us any food. No, nothing has gone wrong. You're gonna get your food. We can still make this right? Like we can talk to that part. I can talk to my part and tell her that, I understand you're feeling what you're feeling. We are going to give food. Don't worry. We're going to make some nice food and we're going to give you some food and you're going to feel full. And it's not just going to be nuts and it's not just going to be like tea and coffee. And the worst part is like when I offer other things like, do you want to try this and that? No, I just want nuts. So there is this other part who's like, who just wants nuts, because anything more than that is like, I don't want it. It will try to go to only biscuits. That is a bit screwy, because why biscuits? And they're so boring and so bland. These Ulkar biscuits, they're not even tasty. So I have to like tap into that part of my brain which believes that, okay, nothing has gone wrong. We can still make this right. And when you transition from that emotional part into your prefrontal cortex, we do that by compassion. So many of my clients, they can't hold compassion for themselves. They just go into like the super criticism. No, this shouldn't have happened. Don't listen to her. She's wrong. They will tell that their part will be like questioning them, right? Like why are they listening to Rashmi? Rashmi is just being too compassionate. You should not be compassionate, right? And like if that was the case, if I was like disciplining myself so harsh, I wouldn't have lost 5 kilos. I would have gained more, or I would have stayed as is. I did not use willpower this time, for sure. Because for me, willpower, it just doesn't last. We are in an age where we have access to, we can cook our own food, we can order food, we can buy food, we can go and sit in the restaurant and eat food. It's not like 20 years back, 30 years back when all of these amenities were not there. So you know that you can quickly get whatever you want. But how can you manage your mind without quickly getting whatever you want? You can use willpower, but you need to save your willpower to like not kill people, right? Like at work, family members, sometimes they get on your nerves, right? And we have to manage our mind. We have to use our willpower to like not punch, like just driving on the roads. And when it comes to food, there's no willpower left. So you need to have correct thinking. And like one of the ways to have correct thinking is compassion. You need to be like, okay, this happened today and that's okay. Let's course correct. Okay, this happened today. Nothing has gone wrong. Let's course correct. Okay, this has happened today. Nothing has gone wrong. Course correct. You can do this every day of your life for the rest of your life. Because you're grown up now. Nobody's coming after you like you did this wrong. If someone is trying to come after you saying that, you're letting that person say that to you. You don't have to, right? So we have to enter the prefrontal cortex, and from there, once we have left our emotional brain and enter prefrontal cortex, it's like a different world there, where you feel like, oh, actually nothing has gone wrong. And from there we can plan a better meal, we can allow urges, and we can eat as planned. So that is the process that you have to learn to go to first catch yourself in the emotion, and then from the emotional part you have to enter the prefrontal cortex. Because once you do that, it's easy to do those actions. It's easy to hydrate because you're dehydrated probably with alcohol, or you can just reduce the salt intake, or like you can go and like walk a little. If you're not exercise at all, just go walk a little and sweat out a little. The water retention weight will come out. Or you can reduce the carbohydrate load for the next meal. And you can always clean your mind. So you can do all those steps. All of that is possible on a Sunday or sometimes on a Saturday night. You don't have to wait for Monday to kick in or Tuesday to kick in for that to get activated. That is possible. Because once you do that, we just want to go back to the healthy way of eating, which is like not too many carbs, especially if you're trying to lose weight. We can come back to that way of eating. We form those new neuronal conditions where we are eating healthy, where we are conscious about what goes in the mouth, where you see that, oh yeah, this is water retention weight, nothing has gone wrong, and this weight will drop. And you get back on the plan and you form that new neuronal conditioning. Oh yeah, I am someone who gets back on the plan. And you keep at it. You keep at it. You keep at it. You keep at it until that becomes a new pattern. So water retention weight, sudden weight gain can drop suddenly as well, provided you lower your carbohydrates, provided you are compassionate to yourself, provided you don't unconsciously overeat because you're just like, fuck it, this doesn't work. All right? So catch yourself that in that moment early. The next meal can be interrupted. Now my biscuits are gone. Like I have kept it away. And I know now that I have come and spoken about it, it's going to be much better experience for me. All right, that's it for today. If you are someone who is interested in this, doing this kind of work, like not just follow a diet plan, but like look at your whole life at a very like a helicopter view and take action accordingly, please consider coming on a chat with me and let's explore what your goal is and see if something like coaching might fancy you. All right, that's it for today. I will see you next time. Bye.